So, you were source energy before you came into these physical bodies. You don't remember that, and there's a reason that you don't, but you were. You were source energy before you came into these physical bodies, and now you are an extension of that source energy. So here you are, focused, just as you intended to be, focused upon the things of your time-space reality, and you are utilizing your focus to help you personally, independently, identify your preferences. Sometimes you don't really grasp that. You don't really understand how perfect it is and how important it is that you deliberately choose. So anyway, that's step one. You ask for what you want, and you can't stop asking because life just continues to serve itself up to you in ways that cause you to identify your preferences. It happens all day, every day, at all levels of your being. It's really what the evolution of all species is about. So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. If someone's rude, you want them to be nicer. If you're rude, you want to be nicer. If you're unhappy, you want to be happier. If something's gone wrong, you want it to go right. In other words, if you don't have enough of something you want more of it. It's a very simple equation, not hard for you to figure it out, and you're doing it all day, every day. But what you may not know is that every time, whether you speak it out loud or not, something happens like that, you are launching these vibrational preferences. And the larger part of you is aware of the preference that you have launched and becomes it, because your inner being is unconditional. Your inner being rides the rocket of your desire. When you say, I prefer something, your inner being doesn't say, well, there aren't that many of them going around. Your inner being doesn't say, well, that's risky business and it's unlikely. Your inner being doesn't say, you don't have the education for that, or the money for that, or the background for that. When you launch a rocket, a request, a preference, a desire, your inner being becomes a vibrational match to it immediately. And because you are an extension of that inner being who has become a match to it, now you hold the potential of splitting your energy if you don't become a match to it too. You see how it works? When you say, I want that, the source within you says, done. We're there. We've got it. We're a vibrational match to it. Because everything that manifests is first a vibrational frequency. And the source within you will give you this, can more easily match your desires because in the energy stream, it is immediate. In your manifestational world, you've got some bugs to work out of your vibrational frequency. Source doesn't have to work those bugs out because Source already believes in you. Source already knows your value. Source already knows your worthiness. Source remembers why you came and who you are. So when you launch a rocket about something that you would like more of, Source is right there in that frequency. And in fact, the only reason that any of you ever feel any slight or strong negative emotion is because Source finds the frequency, the fullness of the desire that you have launched, and when you don't, there's vibrational discord between you and Source. Does that make sense to you? The only reason, if there were ever a way for you to understand that Source exists, it must be in your emotional awareness. Because if there were not someone keenly interested in you and holding a vibrational frequency about you, then you could think anything you want and you would feel no vibrational variance. That's something really to think about. When you feel negative emotion, it always means the same thing. You've got a different opinion about this than Source has about this. And that's something else we really want you to hear. Source does have an opinion about this and this and this and this. Now. Source adores you. When you're mad at yourself, you've got a split going on. There's a gap widening. Source adores the people of this planet. When you carve out a section of them and hate them, you've got a rift going on between you and Source. You will never be able to be in alignment with Source when you hold hate in your heart because of some condition that you can't control. As you get to know Source better through your awareness of what it feels like to be in alignment, you can learn in a matter of days how Source feels about everything that is active on your planet today. You can just give it the emotional test. When you think a thought and you feel love, you can know Source is in agreement with this thought. And when you think a thought and you feel fear, you can know Source is not anything close to an agreement on this thought. So once you get clear about what this emotional guidance system is, then you can get on with what you've come to get on about. Then you can be the deliberate creator. You can be or do or have anything that you choose because you've got this backup. So step one is contrast helps you to define what you want. You do it all day, every day. And step two is source becomes it vibrationally immediately. Wrote a whole book about that called Ask and It Is Given, and that's what it was about. That when you ask, source becomes the vibrational equivalent of it. The energy that creates worlds. Imagine that. The energy that creates worlds. The vibrational equivalent to your desires. Keeping the light on, keeping the vibration steady, so that anytime you get in the vicinity or away from the vicinity,